Duranduru. Consider Ryan Reynolds. Kate believes he hates. Kate believes he's friendly or hates me. He was clearly upset with me. Who could dislike Ryan Reynolds? The charming, hilarious Deadpool star looks popular, but not everyone likes him. 26. Some celebrities have spoken harsh things in interviews and award shows. I made a movie with a horrible jerk of a co-star who was so mean and angry because they couldn't perform the sequences well. I was wounded and unhappy, even on social media, from mean jokes to large arguments. Here are 10 celebrities who publicly criticized Ryan Reynolds and why. Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds were formerly close pals, which fans loved. Their friendship during the 2017 space movie Life press tour was remarkable. They laughed, finished each other's sentences, and appeared more like lifelong friends than actors. Row 116. What seemed like a fast-growing Hollywood friendship behind the scenes has taken a surprising turn. Jake Gyllenhaal's interview statement years after the film's release was shockingly nasty. Jake briefly replied, "We were friends," then coldly declined to send a message to Ryan. Nothing to say to him. 0144. People watching noted Jake's expression cool and distant, unlike his fun friendship with Ryan. His look and stillness spoke volumes. Many believe their disagreement was over life filming. Behind the scenes, the movie was less smooth, Schepterger 2-17, despite good reviews for the cast and look. Rebecca Ferguson, who co-starred in the film, was reportedly uncomfortable throughout filming, especially around Ryan. While she hasn't named individuals or given details, movie industry sources have speculated that many set conflicts may have irrevocably damaged the star's relationship. Jake has avoided talking about Reynolds publicly and hasn't seen her for work or personal reasons in years since. 02-49. While Ryan's behavior was discussed, other co-stars from previous films suggested tough working circumstances or odd behavior. A Hollywood friendship full of charm, laughing, and screen time has faded into quiet and hatred. Eurotree09. As more anecdotes from former co-workers emerge, Ryan's role in cooling these connections, especially with Jake Gyllenhaal, remains unclear. Morena Baccarin. Vanessa, played by Morena Baccarin in the first Deadpool, was crucial. 335. She added heart and emotion to a movie full of sharp humor and violence as Wade Wilson's girlfriend. Their chemistry was electrifying. Fans expected Vanessa to be a series main. By the time Deadpool and Wolverine's press tour began, Marina's minimal part and absence from promotional material raised suspicions about Ryan Reynolds. 00401. Baccarin is in the sequel, yet she was absent from most marketing events, promos, and cast interviews. Her occasional red carpet appearances were alone. Not because she was busy, say movie industry insiders. It was personal. Insiders say Ryan Reynolds ordered her not to appear in important promotional events after a disagreement during early production. 0427. The most prevalent explanation for the conflict is creative differences, albeit neither person has said it. Moreno fretted about her character being sidelined and the tone of some jokes in the altered screenplay. Ryan, who is both star and producer, reportedly resisted her suggestions. 0456. According to former co-workers who opposed him, he limited her screen time and kept her out of press appearances. Reynolds has been accused of locking out co-stars after fights before. Patterns emerged. His strong-willed creative opponents are sometimes pushed aside or dismissed from projects. 0518. Morena, a beloved actress with a long film and TV career. The treatment change is noticeable. Her decreasing presence has grown unavoidable in Deadpool and Wolverine, from prominent to virtually unnoticeable. Morena Baccarin and Ryan Reynolds' dispute, whether artistic or emotional, has cast a shadow over one of the series' most fascinating relationships on and off-screen. Chris Columbus. Chris Columbus, filmmaker of Home Aludis and other family favorites. One was outspoken when Ryan Reynolds was tied to a holiday hit remake, featuring an R-rated twist. Stoned Alone, a stoner comedy largely based on Home Alone, follows a 20-something marijuana smoker who misses his flight for a holiday ski vacation, gets high, and defends his property from burglars in a state of paranoia and THC-induced pandemonium. Columbus thought the concept was disrespectful and wrong. 0634. I find reboots ridiculous, he declared in a tough interview. But this one is insulting, I thought. He continued. Columbus stated what many Home Alone fans had been thinking but hadn't said. It's a disrespect to filmmaking. The filmmaker was upset about more than artistic freedom, departs 0701. The practice in Hollywood of converting beloved family films into filthy parodies or edgy reboots for quick profit was discussed. Columbus, whose 1990 film defined a generation of holiday enjoyment and launched Macaulay Culkin's career, sees Home Alone as more than a brand to modify, a legacy to preserve. 0727. Reynolds was supposed to produce and develop Stoned Alone, but not star. Instant attention and anger followed his engagement. Columbus thought adding stoner humor and mature themes to a childhood Wonderland movie betrayed its attractiveness and cultural significance. 0753. Leave the classics alone, Columbus warned, emphasizing that not all reboots are equal and that some stories should be left alone. Ryan, noted for his quirky humor and self-awareness, has not replied to the criticism. 0813. Columbus's comments are another example of Reynolds's creative ideas, although profitable and headline-grabbing, clashing with movie business experts who value legacy over laughter. Gerard Butler. Gerard Butler's candid press interview reaction surprised everyone and conveyed a clear statement in a business dominated by PR, polished replies, and forced camaraderie. 0839. Butler was asked about the similarities between his 2009 dystopian film Gamer and Ryan Reynolds' 2021 hit Free Guy, both of which explore characters in a virtual or video game-like world while promoting one of his action films. Butler's scathing reply. He just answered, "I don't know Free Guy." 0907. The interviewer explained that it was the latest Ryan Reynolds film to assist him recall. Butler didn't falter. "I avoid Ryan Reynolds films. Sharp tone, distinct hue." Butler rejected the comparison and distanced himself from Reynolds' work in that brief but powerful debate, saying it wasn't worth his time. It wasn't a prank. 0936. It was a professional snub. The comparison was reasonable. Gamer, directed by Mark Neville and Brian Taylor, followed a death row prisoner controlled by a gamer in a real-life shooting video game. It combined action with comments on media and control. Free Guy, however lighter, has a similar theme. 10.02. A video game NPC realizes his identity and seeks to reclaim it. Butler's contemptuous response to Free Guy's critical and economic success revealed he either didn't believe the hype or willfully disregarded Reynolds' storytelling. Butler joins the growing number of celebrities who've publicly distanced themselves from Reynolds and his work. 1023. From Quentin Tarantino's scathing criticism of Ryan's Netflix movies to Scarlett Johansson's statements about emotional control in their marriage to Butler's unabashed dismissal, a trend is emerging. Reynolds' Hollywood legacy, 1048, is more controversial than his charm and comedy. Reynolds has established a profitable brand on ironic humor, action comedy, and self-awareness, but not everyone in the industry agrees. Gerard Butler heard the message clearly. Reynolds doesn't consider his movies. Rebecca Ferguson, known for her strength and grace on screen, stunned fans by discussing a horrific event with an anonymous co-star at 11:16. Ferguson admitted to dealing with a jerk co-star who lashed out in fury and insecurity during production in an honest interview. She said the aggressive environment made her feel exposed and uncomfortable. Ferguson remembered this person being insecure and unhappy because they couldn't release the scenes. 11:38. I was vulnerable and uncomfortable, so I was screamed at. Despite the emotional toll, Rebecca spoke up. She said that because this lady was first on the call sheet, she had the bravery to speak out when no one else did. No one supported me. 12:02. She resisted and confronted the actor. Get off my set. A tennis ball is my goal. Never want to see you again. Ferguson never named the actor, but fans and journalists swiftly made the dots. Citing Life, her 2017 sci-fi thriller alongside Jake Gyllenhaal. 12:26. Alan Ryan Reynolds. Ferguson advertised Life alone without her male co-stars, which aroused eyebrows. Rebecca said others warned her after the confrontation. Understanding your actions, right? Her response was straightforward yet forceful. 12:51. Good people don't worry. Reynolds has a good reputation and is one of Hollywood's most appealing leading males, but this news has admirers wondering. Reynolds and Gyllenhaal have not commented on the guessing. However, Rebecca's bravery in stating the truth has created a crucial discourse about movie set power dynamics and speaking out when no one else would. 13:22. Dina Cortese, Sammy Giancola. Jersey Shore actors Sammy Sweetheart Giancola and Dina Cortese were asked to name the rudest celebrity they have encountered. 13:41. On Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. The question made them uneasy with Sammy's cautious approach. We won't say who it is, she said, To avoid drama, Dina chose to be honest, name-dropping that startled the audience. Ryan Reynolds. Dina simply stated he was bad to us. Love Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, but he didn't want to seem biased. Shani Toshi. 1409. Since Reynolds is known for her sweetness and friendliness, her comments shook the studio. Sammy, the peacekeeper, swiftly soothed the wound by saying, maybe he had a rough day, suggesting the interaction was a one-time event rather than a reflection of Reynolds' character. 1429. It nevertheless raised eyebrows among deans. Did not describe the situation or what made Reynolds cold or contemptuous. Her displeasure was obvious. The encounter's popularity among Jersey Shore fans, famed for their honesty and boldness, was telling. 1456. This adds to Reynolds' growing list of awkward or unpleasant encounters. Though beloved for his wit, quick humor, and seemingly down-to-earth charm, a few cracks have appeared in recent years. Reynolds may not always live up to his followers' nice image, whether former co-stars hint at inappropriate behavior or reality TV personalities share negative thoughts. 1520. Neither Sammy nor Dina seemed bitter, just disappointed. Their story resembled two longtime followers being disappointed by a celebrity. Even though they gave Ryan Reynolds the benefit of the doubt, Alanis Morissette, this story keeps you wondering about him behind the scenes. 1545. Ryan Reynolds had one of his most intimate and private relationships with Grammy-winning singer Alanis Morissette before Deadpool and Instagram. They started dating in 2002 and got engaged in 2004. After 5 years, one of Hollywood's quieter but close couples broke up in 2007. 1610. Alanis was deeply affected by their secret breakup. The eerie and emotionally moving 2008 album Tastes of Entanglement was the result of her anguish after their breakup. Though she never identified Ryan, the song lyrics made it plain that he inspired several of the songs, especially the heartbreak anthem Torch. One lyric in Desparked Guessing, 1642 stood out. If I admit I'm insecure, shattered, and devastated, I can move on. After a significant emotional separation, the candid words formed a vivid image of a woman broken and questioning herself. While it seemed like a self-examination, the vocabulary, especially the word insecure, was familiar to anyone who had followed Ryan's relationships. 1711. Multiple women close to him have called him insecure. Scarlett Johansson suggested passive-aggressive jealousy and emotional control during their marriage. Alanis's emotionally charged use of the same word reveals a deeper and more regular pattern in Ryan's personal connections. Insecure, possibly concealed by charisma or humor, takes a big emotional toll on his relationships. Alanis has since married rapper Soul I and had a child, but she has said in interviews that her relationship with Ryan was one of the most traumatic and life-changing of her life. She 1801. Turning pain into art was healing, she said. However, the fact that it took so much despite their years together contributes to Ryan's developing emotional turmoil in his closest connections. Tarantino, Chapter 1821. Quentin Tarantino's unabashed honesty has always stood out in a field where genteel diplomacy rules public commentary. Even by his standards, the legendary director's recent comments regarding Ryan Reynolds were startlingly frank, criticizing the actor's recent work and whole filmography. In a viral interview, Tarantino was blunt. 1844. Netflix claims Ryan Reynolds made $50 million on this film and $5 million on that one. No idea what those movies are. Never seen them. Have you? The question dropped like a mic, eliciting laughs and anxiety. Tarantino continued. He added in 1906 that his wealth is excellent for him, but it's almost like they don't exist. He praised Reynolds' wealth in one stroke, while doubting the movie's cultural and artistic value. 1924. Tarantino never named titles, but the phrase was widely interpreted as a criticism of Reynolds' high-budget streaming projects Red Notice, The Atom Project, and Six Underground. All Netflix-exclusive action films with spectacular effects. Despite millions of views, these flicks were panned for being flare-above content. 1949. Reynolds' Netflix-era films seemed to contradict Tarantino's ideas of author-driven storytelling, meaningful character study, and cinema history. His comments highlighted a rising Hollywood debate between commercial success and artistic legacy. 2012. Tarantino's hint was apparent. Reynolds' movies are profitable, but they don't impact cinema. This public blast joins business voices criticizing Reynolds' work. Ryan is personable and a marketing juggernaut, but Tarantino's criticism asks whether his success is based on substance or showy, forgettable entertainment. 2041. Scarlett Johansson. Before Ryan Reynolds became Deadpool and Scarlett Johansson became a Hollywood powerhouse, they were one. The 2008 to 2011 marriage of Hollywood's most famous pair seemed glamorous. 2104. Since their divorce, Johansson has slowly revealed what went wrong, and it's not pretty. Scarlett described the relationship as tumultuous, weighed down by envy, insecurity, and control in honest interviews. She never named Ryan in these statements, but the timing and context indicate she meant 2130. She pointed out that she dislikes jealousy. Passive-aggressive jealousy indicates insecurity and is unpleasant. Ryan may have been reacting to her early Marvel stardom, especially after she entered the MCU as Black Widow in Iron Man 2, 2010. 2156. Johansson's career was booming while Reynolds was struggling, most notably Green Lantern's 2011 critical and commercial failure. Ryan, once a budding comedy sensation, battled with Scarlett's rise to headlines and box office charts, according to couple insiders. Chapter 2221. Johansson also criticized her ex for dominating conduct in partnerships. She suggested that their partnership lacked balance in time sharing, especially when two people's jobs are going at the same rate. 2243. With both partners under enormous pressure and scrutiny, she said Ryan struggled with her success and independence. Johansson said, "I don't want to date another actor again, because the relationship was so emotionally draining." An admission of their difficult marriage's lasting impact. 23. G2. Ryan's romance with Blake Lively is well known, while Scarlett married Saturday Night Live's Colin Jost. The public remembers their disastrous union through Scarlett's carefully worded yet telling thoughts. Blake Lively illusion. The Reynolds-Lively marriage is one of Hollywood's most beloved. 23:30. Their hilarious social media posts and flawless red carpet appearances depict cheerful romance. Their relationship began in a more difficult and controversial way, one that coincides with Ryan's divorce from Scarlett Johansson and raises issues about the emotional aftermath. 23:54. Starring as lovers on Green Lantern in 2010, they met. Blake was in an on-and-off romance with Penn Badgley, while Ryan was married to Scarlett. According to insiders, Ryan and Blake had instant connection, so much so that their flirting made the cast and crew talk. 2419. Both parties went public after separating from their partners, but sources say their emotional connection began before. Ryan, feeling overshadowed by Scarlett's ascension in Marvel, was drawn to Blake in an unhealthy way. 2440, according to sources. Scarlett's later comments about envy and control in her previous marriage reinforced the speculation. Ryan battled with being second in the spotlight as Johansson's career grew with Black Widow, especially after his film Green Lantern was critically and economically unsuccessful. 25.05. Blake, still in her film career, may have been a fresh start for Ryan to share the attention with. Insiders say this dynamic didn't develop from emotional equilibrium. Instead, Ryan wanted to recapture power and validation he felt slipping away throughout his marriage to Scarlett. 2531. While Blake Lively has never publicly addressed any difficulty linked to Ryan's divorce, her closeness to it and her swift entry into a new relationship with him have added to Ryan's personal life's emotional turmoil. Creative conflicts, shattered friendships, and love struggle are common themes. Ryan's ego and insecurity hamper his closest relationships. 2558. Even while his marriage to Blake has survived, it began in public disarray. T.J. Miller. Fans loved T.J. Miller's Deadpool character Weasel, the sardonic bartender and Deadpool's confidant. Behind the scenes, the two performers were not friends in 23. Miller claimed in an honest interview that Reynolds' personal and deliberate humiliation on set was the real reason he left the series. Miller said the breaking point came when Reynolds, in character as Deadpool, made a harsh joke during production. 2648. "What's terrific about you, Weasel?" Reynolds reportedly said. "Although you're not the star, you provide enough funny explanation to let us leave and watch the movie." Miller said this wasn't improvised or lighthearted, a scathing remark aimed to humble him. "It wasn't joke. To remind me I'm not as successful as him," he remarked. For Miller, 2713 was a burning time. He felt small in front of cast and crew, and it revealed an undercurrent of hostility or looking down on him that had never been addressed. The encounter moved him, he said. Although Miller has never shied away from controversy, this moment left a mark. 2734. He publicly stated that he would never work with Ryan Reynolds again, even for double salary. He said that the environment was too hazardous for him. 2754. Miller's admissions changed the tale after his off-screen controversies caused his Deadpool exit. His charges follow a trend of Reynolds' contentious relationships with co-stars, especially those who confront him. The T.J. Miller fallout is another part in a series of behind-the-scenes feuds that continue to cast shadows over the Deadpool series' humorous facade. 2825. What fans see on screen. Ryan has remained mute. Though funny, the tale is far more intricate off-screen. Tim Miller. Deadpool, 2016, was Tim Miller's first film to succeed commercially and critically. The film violated genre standards, revived R-rated superhero films, and established Ryan Reynolds as 2851's anti-hero. The director and star were quietly feuding behind the scenes. Miller's unexpected departure from Deadpool 2 revealed such issues. Tim Miller promoted the re-ASE in interviews after his departure, despite the first installment's success. Hans for leaving. 2917. He said Reynolds' vision dominated the creative environment and Ryan wanted to control the series. Reynolds was crucial to Deadpool's production and tone, but Miller claimed that his influence grew as the sequel progressed. 2936. Apparently, partnership became a power battle. Miller intended to stylize the sequel and cast Kyle Chandler as Cable. Reynolds wants to repeat the crazy humor and fourth wall-breaking manner that made the original movie successful. Reynolds vetoed Miller's plans using his celebrity power and contractually expanding creative control, officials said. Miller took the tough decision to leave a no-win situation. He added, "If I can't win, I don't want to play," suggesting that directing a film where the lead actor had final say was pointless. 30-28. The first public breach in Deadpool's well-oiled creative unit was his exit. It also raised awareness of Ryan Reynolds' growing dominance over the series and its ramifications. Since then, Reynolds has tightly controlled the series, bringing in long-standing friends and partners while leaving Miller behind. 30-54. Deadpool's quips and pandemonium may still be popular, but Tim Miller's exit suggests the true drama is behind the camera. What do you think of 10 celebs who openly insulted Ryan Reynolds? Post your comments below. Hope you found this video useful. 31-14. Remember to depart. Hey, like, share, and subscribe if you like the channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.